Ladies and rapists. And here, day 246 of the Inner Winner Show. I'm joined with Imogen, my confidant, which is French for girlfriend.
Don't think it is.
It's French for talking back to your boyfriend and disrespecting him in public.
It's a very concise word for
Thank
all
you.
of that.
The French are very concise with their language. Honk honk. That's how French people sound. So we are going to talk about today top 10 tips to end rape.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds, everything we're going to talk about is going to sound like a parody.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to listen to this and think like this guy's just talking shit. This isn't a real website. But this comes from rapecrisisscotland.org.uk. And this is an official campaign that they ran many, many, many years ago.
How many years ago?
A lot of years ago.
Okay.
I think I found it on the Red Pill ages ago, and they were basically saying like, this was one of the times where how do I phrase this? This was one of the times where I read an inflammatory headline on the Red Pill, and you click in there, and it's like, they are absolutely correct with everything they're saying in there. Normally they're about like 70% correct. This was like 100% correct. They're like, what the fuck is this? This is just like vilification of men. Absolutely. Absolutely. Before we get started, let's talk about the Winners fucking Club, boys and girls. What is the Winners Club? You get to fucking talk to me every day. It's a set club, a Facebook group, and a live stream. We get daily access to me. People in the group are getting a lot out of it. Something that I've started doing more recently in there is sharing more of my own goals and what I'm working on, especially talking about how I make money from my website, from my coaching, from this stuff that I don't talk about in that much detail on the podcast. I'm happy to talk about it on the podcast, but just when you have there's a weird like close-knit relationship when people are like in a group with you every day. They're giving you money because they're helping you pay the bills. You are in return being their mentor like literally every day. And so it kind of makes me want to share more like personal and vulnerable shit with them.
Yeah.
Versus on a podcast where it's like I'm talking to a wider audience.
It's far more intimate when they kind of see like what you're up to every day. So you end up being a bit more open about your personal life. Yeah,
for sure. And you end up having like more respect for them because they're putting money where their mouth is. There's definitely a part of that. But because they're in there with you, it's like they're in the trenches with you. So the point that I'm getting to is like I talk about my goals and how I'm making money and how I'm working through things. It's kind of like you get an untapped look into my mind. So if that sounds like interesting to you, maybe you're at a point where you're starting to or are already making money and working on that, definitely drop in. You can see how I make money through the website, through coaching, all that kind of stuff. One of the guys in the group said he loves the live streams I do as well because it's like a live look into how I work through problems and how I make shit happen. Because a lot of those live streams, they will give me a question. The live stream is like people can ask me questions and I answer them. A lot of the time they will ask me a question and I haven't read them, so I'm kind of freestyling it, and I'm pretty good at that. I think they would all agree, I'm like pretty good at thinking on my feet. And I really like that because they get to see literally how I come up with material for the website kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like how I answer a question.
Just problem solve. I know that for me, obviously being in a relationship with you, the way that I address problems, or like even when I like have like a counseling session, I will think about a problem as if I'm speaking to you about it.
Yeah.
And then go through like the problem solving process to come up with a solution or some ideas around the issue.
And maybe that would have been a better way of phrasing what I just said. Like, there's a certain step-by-step process that I use to come up with a solution to a problem, or how I'm going to deal with something, or how I'm going to work on a goal. And you're basically getting a look into that. So if that's interesting to you, I'll leave a link in the description below, or you can just go to my website and search for the Winners Club. It's $6 a day, super fucking cheap. Jump in there. The guys in there are fucking awesome. So let's talk about rape. I really like rape, but
don't say that.
No, like before, that's going to be taken out of context, isn't it? Some dickhead's going to like clip that and say like, how dare you, sir? Why do you like rape? You said in a podcast you like rape, and it's like, that's called a joke. So
not the best joke, but sure.
Nothing should be off limits when it comes to jokes, just like no woman should be off limits when it comes to my penis. That's another rape joke for you guys.
Yeah.
There's probably like a bunch of people out there who've actually been raped and they're getting triggered by this. So I do apologize to you guys, like, and girls. I'm not like, just kidding, men. No, I won't make that joke. That's a bad joke. So,
yeah,
I'm not going to make it.
Jokes about
Come on, I love women. Women are cute. I like women. So anyway, apologies for the rape jokes. Actually, I'm never going to fucking apologize for a joke. But
you don't really apologize.
I hope you guys know I'm joking. So, I don't like rape. I think we're all on board with that. I think most people in society don't like rape and don't actually want it to happen.
Yeah.
And if they see someone raping, they're going to be like, "Oi, don't be doing that rape thing."
Yeah, I think if you're already on board with rape, you're going to have a hard time changing somebody's mind.
Yeah, so if you already think rape is cool, like you think it's like edgy or like, you know, you meme about it with your friends and then you guys go off and do it and like high five each other and say like, yeah, we raped tonight. Like, probably don't listen to this podcast. Now that I've said that, everything we're going to read out from this like official website is directed at people who are already raping. Or who already think rape is okay. So that's the first mistake here.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go through the top 10 tips to end rape according to the Rape Crisis Centre in Scotland. And you haven't read any of these.
No, I think you told me one.
Yeah. And this would have been hilarious to get on camera, but at this point in time, we just don't have enough. Those take extra long to do, to record and shit, and we're doing one of these a day. Long story short, you don't get to see us on camera. Sorry about that.
Sure.
But I will narrate how her face looks. How's that, guys? As I read out the top 10 tips to end rape according to the Rape Crisis Scotland. So the first one, and you have no idea what I'm going to say. I asked you, like, what do you think is going to be on there?
Tell me one.
And the shit, yeah, I told you the last one, which was don't rape.
Yeah.
So I've just spoiled it. So let's start there. Number 10, don't rape.
Like, good job.
So great job there. So just like the first tip to end murder is like don't murder. And ending corruptions, don't be corrupt. Corruptions. Don't end. I can't speak. So all you politicians out there, I need you to stop being corrupt as fuck. Government, I need you to stop overreaching.
I mean, that could be the whole
and
list.
violating people's rights.
Couldn't it?
Who else?
People follow that step. That's pretty much.
Violent people, I need you to tone it down. Don't do it. It's bad. Wife beaters, stop hitting your wives. Husband beaters, stop hitting your husbands. People who hit their children, stop it. People who abuse their children, don't abuse your children.
With like killing your kids, I feel like that's a more
complex
issue.
Don't rape. And now, to be fair, that was number 10. So we started backwards. We'll start with number 1. I wish you guys could. I'll explain her face as I say this. Number 1.
Smiling before you've read it.
Of course, because it's hilarious. Don't put drugs in women's drinks.
I mean,
she has a face of confusion. Because I was thinking like last time when we went out. Remember the last girl that we went out with, Ginger chick. She was the last one we went on a date with, right?
Was she? Okay.
Or was it the one that was still... No, it was her, right?
Okay.
And I remember her drink was there and she was going to the toilet.
Yeah.
And I was literally thinking like, I should fucking put some Rohypnol or some shit in here. Like I should straight up put some GHB. I love how I know all the names of rape drugs. I should put like ecstasy. I don't even know fucking what else would you put in there? Heroin. Yeah. Marijuana.
Don't you inject heroin?
You can do whatever you want. It's your life. I'm not going to tell you how to do your drugs.
I don't know.
So I was thinking like I should put it in there. And then I remembered this website and I was like, no. That's not okay to put drugs in her drink. And I didn't do it. And a rape was averted that day.
I will say, like, they kind of go hand in hand. It's not like you drug her drink and you're like, it's a 50-50. Like, it's on the table whether I rape her or not. Like,
Well, it depends on how she reacts. If she just, like, passes out, I'm not into that. I like them to fight back. There's, like, going to be so many rape jokes. By the way, legitimately, if you're, like, triggered by rape, like, please don't listen to this podcast because I'm just going to be, like, wildly inappropriate because I have to. I have to parody this shit. This shit is so fucking dumb. We're all on board with the idea of, like, don't rape. This fucking campaign is going to do more harm than good. This is vilifying everyone. This is especially men. This is just dumb fucking advice. Literally nothing in here gives any sort of advice to someone who might be going through, like, what if you've had sexual trauma? I love how this never gets talked about. What if you've had sexual trauma, same as when people talk about pedophiles. They're just like, every pedophile is bad. And it's like, you know that like the vast majority of pedophiles were literally fucking abused as a child. And that doesn't make what they're doing okay. But like, if you want to fix it, you need to counsel them. You don't just say like, oh, you're a bad person. And then what? They're going to go off and be ostracized even further. They're going to shut down even further. They have no one to talk to about the thing that they probably already know is pretty fucking bad. And they're just going to end up doing it. And then congratulations, you just added another pedophile to the world and you added another child victim to the world. Good job, fuckheads. I get so triggered by every dipshit that goes around saying like, pedophiles are bad. Fucking, I'd kill a pedophile if I saw one. I'd kill a fucking I'd cut his dick off if I saw a rapist. It's like, that's not how you fix this problem, you fucking child. You don't just like get angry at the person committing the crime. That just leads to more recidivism, which is repeating your crime and doing it again, because they feel cut off. They feel like no one gives a shit about them. And yes, it's the uncomfortable truth, but you should fucking empathize with a rapist. You should fucking empathize with a pedophile. That doesn't mean you think what they did is okay. It's fucking not, of course, but you need to empathize, which really just means understand. So then you can figure out why they did it and how you make sure they don't do it. Or if they're about to do it, you make sure they don't fucking do it. That requires literal empathy and understanding. You don't just say like, don't rape. It's like, well, I don't want to fucking rape. Yeah, there's some fucking assholes out there who do want to rape, of course. There's a bunch of dickheads, for sure. But it's like, this is like the low-hanging fruit of actually doing something. They just pretend, this is like virtue signaling. I'm going to pretend that I'm going to stop rape by just saying like, don't rape women. Don't fucking put shit in their drink. It's like, we are all on board with that. If someone is already at the stage where they're drugging a woman's drink, they're not going to listen to your shitty fucking website saying don't do that. They've already crossed that moral line. The only way to help them at that point is like deep fucking counseling, explaining to them this isn't okay. And saying like, this isn't okay is not explaining it to them. Because they'll just go like, fuck you, bye. I'm going to go rape someone. Rant over.
Yeah, I don't really know how to follow that up.
I get mad triggered by this shit. I really do. I get mad triggered by like, I get triggered by the law of unintended consequences. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically where you have some dipshit harebrained idea that you think is like genius. Government are just like, this is like the modus operandi of most governments. They'll have a fucking great idea and they don't think through the unintended consequences or the side effects of what might happen if they do that. And then before you know it, hey, congratulations, you've just fucked everything up because you didn't think more than one step ahead. Same with this shit. All that this is going to do, stupid shit like this, is just going to take the agency away from women. That's another uncomfortable truth we got to talk about. So instead of, there will be some women that think like, no, it's up to men not to rape me. And it's like, what? And you're not going to take any personal agency? You're not going to not walk home at 3 a.m. through a dodgy neighborhood? Like, you're not going to take any steps to make sure that you're with friends if it's like nighttime? You're not going to take any steps to like have any sort of personal responsibility? And that's like the uncomfortable thing that lots of people don't want to talk about. I'm sure there'll be people that listen to this and go like, how dare you say that women are responsible for them? Yeah, I am. I do think that. You're sexist as fuck if you think like a woman shouldn't do anything to stop rape. Men should just not rape. And it's like, cool. Then we should never do anything to protect ourselves from murder. We should never do anything to protect ourselves from violence. We should never do anything to protect ourselves from manipulation, right? Because no one's going to manipulate us because no one should do that. That's wrong. So we should just go through life with our head in the clouds, airy-fairy, never actually protecting ourselves or taking any sort of responsibility for ourselves ever. And women should do the same. Yeah. What you are doing when you say that, you are contributing more rape to the world. Not a lot, but slightly more rape because you're saying women shouldn't ever do anything. It's men's responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, those are the polar extremes.
Yeah, for sure. But this like campaigns like this will contribute 0.00, I'm making up a number, 0.0001% more rapes to the world because there'll be a bunch of women that go, yeah, well, it's men's fault. They should just not rape. Yeah, good job this campaign. It's going to stop rape. And then I can just kind of walk around outside comfortable without ever taking any responsibility. Not that I don't want women to, that's going to be taken out of context, but whatever. Fuck you if you take this out of context. You can tell I get really fucking like passionate about this shit.
Yes.
Because guess what? I actually probably fucking care about stopping rape. Unlike these fucking retards who just like want to do a pretty campaign. It's not even a pretty fucking poster. It looks like shit. It's this gross fucking poster with like top 10 tips to end rape. Print this out and put this like at a university because that'll stop rape. Number 3.
Did we even do number 2?
Yeah, number 2. When you see a woman walking by herself, leave her alone. So again, women should be able to walk, and I want women to walk around comfortably, of course. But like, there's a certain level of personal responsibility. I don't walk alone at 3 a.m. in the morning. Me, a 6'1", 6'2" man who can handle his business and probably isn't going to get raped. But I don't walk around alone at night because why the fuck would I do that? I'm probably going to get robbed or stabbed or punched or that may happen. And so what you're doing here again is like A woman should just be able to walk by herself all the time, and it's up to men to leave her alone. It's like, there are bad people. This is not acknowledging that there are bad people in the world. There are bad people that will see you walking alone and do bad things to you. And you saying to those bad people, hey, don't do that bad thing. They don't play by your rule book. They don't give a fuck about your rule book. Your rule book that says don't rape, they go, hey, guess what? Step 1 of my rule book says I can rape if I want to. What are you going to do now? And saying to that guy, leave her alone. He's like, no. And then what do you got then? What do you fucking got then? I hope you got some mace or pepper spray or a gun or something. And that's what I would like to see here. Yeah, sure, women can walk around alone by themselves, sure, but take some fucking protection. For fuck's sakes. Like, do some Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Take a gun. Take some mace. Take a fucking rape whistle. I don't know. Something more than just, I'm going to say to that guy, leave me alone. What are you going to do when he actually grabs you? You're going to say, like, leave me alone. And he'll be like, oh, sorry, ma'am. You're like, wait, just let me get this fucking top 10 tips to end rape out. Didn't you see number 2? It says don't do this. You're going against number 2. Why are you touching me? Again, it's like a child's... I don't like virtue signaling that doesn't actually do anything. It's why I don't like that all the fucking straws are paper straws now.
What the definition of virtue signaling?
Yeah. I don't like fucking masks during coronavirus because they don't do anything. I don't like plastic bags being banned. I don't like any of this like dumb shit that doesn't actually contribute anything. I even don't fucking like recycling in the home. Because when you go and compare that to industry and agriculture, industrial waste in the homes is like 0.1% compared to industry and agriculture. And now you can argue like, oh, but does that mean we shouldn't do anything? It's like, no, we can do stuff, but why do we care? Why is there this level of vitriol from some people? But like, you didn't put that in the right bin. You didn't put it in the right trash can. It's not in the recycling. It's like, bro, come on, this is like 0.0000001%.
Me and girls that have been over, who's ever said that to you?
Why are there weird Why is there 2 recycling bins everywhere in public?
You mean 2 bins? One is
waste. Recycling, one is of general waste.
Yeah,
Why?
You said 2 recycling bins.
Why?
Why? So you can recycle things.
And how much of an impact does that have? You have no idea because you've never researched it. I have. Go research. Anyone listening, go research it. Number 3. I hate virtue signaling. Number 3.
This is going to be a podcast where...
This is like going to be like pulling teeth, yeah.
And Imogen is quiet.
Imogen's always quiet. If you pull over to help a woman whose car has broken down, remember not to rape her. In case you forgot. So while you're there...
To use the word remember...
Yeah. And so this is probably the point, you guys, where you're like, oh, Andy's being trolled. Look at this fucking idiot thinking this is real. It's like, no, this is on an official website. I'll leave a link in the description below. This is official. This has been up on their website since, I can't remember when I first found it. It was like fucking 5 years ago or something. This has stayed on their website. They have multiple versions of this. You can print this out on a poster. They encourage you to, like, share it. Like, this is not a parody. This is like these idiots literally think that all men are bad, all men are in danger of raping, and that the way to end something is to tell the bad people, or the people who don't care about not doing it, to not do it. To which they will respond, no, I'm going to do it anyway, and then what? What do you have then? But you're not supposed to. You're not allowed to. So remember not to rape her. Yep. I also don't like this one because I feel like there's something there's something uncomfortable here. They're basically saying if you pull over to help a woman whose car is broken down, which is kind of the stereotype, right? A woman's car breaks down and it's a man who will stop and help her. That's kind of a stereotype because it's probably fucking 100% correct.
Well, statistically speaking, a man's going to be more
likely to stop and help.
I was going to be like have the knowledge to be able
and
to
have the knowledge for sure.
Not like I'd stop.
But who's more likely to stop? Who jumps in more? Who is more like? Which gender is more likely to jump in when a woman is in danger or needs help? Who jumps in front of a bullet when a woman's going to take it?
Very extreme example.
Sure,
wouldn't happen often.
Do women jump in front of men? And I'm not talking about a man they know. Do random strange women? Do random stranger women jump in the path of danger to protect a man who's in danger?
No, because
no. And now that will happen sometimes, sure, but like It's not the way the genders work.
Yeah,
the genders work. Men have that. Yeah, go.
Less physically equipped to be able to do stuff.
Yeah, and you don't have that.
Second person.
You don't have that white knight. You don't even know what that white knight thing feels like. Like we all do. Men know what that feels like. It's like you see a woman, and in the same way, if you're a mother and you see your child hurting, you're gonna jump the fucking. You will jump in front of a bullet. So women know how to do it. They know what it feels like because they have that with their own children. They will jump in front of a bullet to protect their child. Any good mother will. I know there's a couple of bad mothers out there, but I'm not talking about them. And so most guys will jump in front of danger to protect a woman. And so I don't like this point is kind of playing on that. They're kind of even pointing out men will stop and help you when your car is broken down because men are, generally speaking, helpful. Men are, generally speaking, compassionate and empathetic. And then that's quickly tossed in with remember not to rape her, as if men are walking around with this deep-seated desire to just like get your dick out and shove it in a hole as soon as you see that it belongs to a woman. When you were completely not going to do that, but then you just think like, no, there's no one else around. I could do a quick rape here while I'm stopping to help her. As if like, it's almost like, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but it does feel like they're saying there's no altruism with men. Like we don't just go around helping people because we want to. There's always this like underlying, I'm going to rape. Who can I rape? Where can I rape? Oh my God, this woman's here alone. I could rape her. It's like men don't walk around. This has to come from the most paranoid, broken mind. Like whoever wrote this or whichever team of people wrote this are suffering from mental illness. There is no nice way to say that. They are literally suffering from mental illness, from paranoia and delusion. If they think that every time a man is alone with a woman, there is a chance he will rape her. Like that chance is 0.00000000001%. It is the same chance I have when I'm alone with another guy that he will just suddenly stab me or rob me. It's like, yes, there are bad people in the world, but it has to be a very tortured mind that thinks that you can't be alone with a man because he might rape you. If that is the case, then don't leave. If they truly believe that, they literally believe that you can be stopping on the side of the road with a broken down car and that you might get raped. If they truly believe that, wouldn't their top 10 tips to end rape be don't go outside, never go outside without a friend, always carry a gun? Wouldn't that be... This is where I don't like the inconsistencies. They're basically saying men are so fucking dangerous that they will rape you at a moment's notice, but then I'm not going to do anything. Operating under that premise, I'm then not going to give any advice to women on how they could stop that happening, which shows you that they don't actually care about ending rape. They just want to yell at men a little bit, which is disgusting to me because that's both victimizing to men and that's not going to help fucking women.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't necessarily know how to follow up all of this.
You don't have to follow anything up. I'll carry the podcast. So the next one we can kind of gloss over. Number 4, if you were in a lift and a woman gets in, don't rape her. I'm going to say it again. No, I am not being trolled. Yes, I am smart enough to work out if this is actually a real article. Yes, it is on their official website. Maybe their whole website is a troll, but they literally have like phone lines and helplines and they look like a proper official government agency. So I don't think I'm being trolled. It would have to be a very elaborate scam here. Maybe I should call the number and see if anyone answers. They answer and they're like, you got scammed, dickhead. This was like a fucking 4chan website. It's a psyop. I don't know what that word means. I know what psyop means. I just love using it incorrectly. So if you're in a lift and a woman gets in, don't rape her. Never creep into a woman's home through an unlocked door or window or spring out at her from between parked cars or rape her. Again, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say this. I don't think this is a parody. As far as I can tell, and see how I'm even having doubts in my own mind now, right? Because you read it and you're like, I forgot how bad this was. I haven't read this for like a couple months. I forgot how bad this was. It literally reads like a parody. It reads like the Red Pill would make an article parodying it to see if it would get picked up. And then when it does, they're like, look, see how we told you. But it's like, this is on an official website. So don't creep through a woman's home through an unlocked door or window.
I think just like any of these steps, again, like it's not targeting an audience that, like, this isn't going to change the minds of an audience that is already for rape. Let's just say
it's like saying to a crack addict, hey, just stop doing crack. And he's like, no, I'm going to keep doing crack, hey. And you're like, no, stop. Don't you know, like, if you're going to do crack, just don't do the crack. And he's like, well, I'm going to just do it anyway, though.
Consistent comparison would be like, if this was a list of 10 ways to not do crack, it would be like, don't buy crack.
Yeah. And you're like, well, I have an addiction though. And they're like, don't be addicted to crack. Don't get an addiction to crack.
Yeah.
So number 6, use the buddy system. That's only hard. I'll keep reading. But you hear that and you're like, okay, now they've actually got a good one. They're saying like women should use the buddy system. This is good. No. If you are not able to stop yourself from assaulting people, ask a friend to stay with you when you're in public.
I mean,
so you had a glimmer, a little glimmer of hope. There was a moment there where you were almost onto something. It's like it was fleeting. It was just slightly out of your grasp, slightly out of your reach. You were almost able to grab it, and then you just fell flat on your face. You almost had a good idea. You started strong. Use the buddy system. Yeah, great. Women, use the buddy system if you're going to walk home alone at night. Great, brilliant. Yeah. Use an Uber, have a friend, and then you just went full retard. You ate the glue. You sniffed the paint. Whoever wrote this is eating glue as their main source of nutrition. Like legitimately, this is a smooth-brained individual or collection of hive-minded individuals. What an oxymoron. And a collection of hive-minded
people.
Parts.
What?
So number 7, don't forget, it's not sex with someone who's asleep or unconscious. It's rape.
I mean, yeah.
Let's go into this. So there is like a fantasy.
Okay, sure. Sleep is maybe a bit different if they're like your partner.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess we're just going to take I love how we turn this like super serious rape one into like, let's talk about sex. So there is actually a fantasy. You and I have done it a few times with each other. Sure. Where you have sex with like, there's not someone, oh my God, there's a bird like creeping behind me. And I was like, there's not a child behind me or something. Because we're in a park and like, I was like, holy shit, like I'm not about to talk about raping someone in their sleep. There's a fantasy of like, the person is asleep. Now, I think it goes without saying, make sure that's fucking consensual. Yeah. I feel like you got to talk about that one before you ever do that. Don't just like spring it on her when she's like sleeping over. But I mean, I guess you can start seducing. And we've done that before. Like you have a girl over, maybe you guys go to sleep. It's early in the morning. You know, lots of guys like bedroom, like morning sex. You start playing with her titties. She's kind of half waking up. Maybe you go down on her. You know, I guess it depends on like, we can be super safe and say, make sure you guys have already like slept together and shit, like obviously for fuck's sakes. Yeah. Make sure there's like something there. So like you kind of know each other and you trust each other. But yeah, like having sex when someone's asleep is actually kind of hot if you already know them. Like you and I have done that a few times.
Yeah, and you've had sex. And
it's really fucking hot. Yeah. I don't know what it feels like because I'm always one doing it. But like, although we've done it a few times when we're both half asleep.
Sure.
And then afterwards, it's like the weirdest, I don't know how I did it. But we've done it like 3 times where we're both half asleep and we have sex. And it's almost like, and then you go back to sleep and then you wake up in the morning, you're like, wait, did we have sex? And you check and it's like, it's all sticky and shit. And you're like, holy shit, I thought I dreamed that. Like, how do we do that? And it's like, it's hot. It's amazing. It's like, it's not happening to you.
Yeah.
I love how you put that into a podcast about rape. So make sure you consent to that.
Yeah.
Just say like, yo, can I fuck you in your sleep? And then she'll be like, yeah, sure, babe, that sounds groovy. And then you'll be like, high five each other. And then she goes to sleep and then you do it. Give her like melatonin or something so she goes to sleep real quick. Oh, you can't do that. That says you can't. That's number 1, you can't do that. Melatonin is not a drug, it's a supplement.
Like, yeah, melatonin's... Like,
yeah, but we should also say don't put melatonin in her drink. Why may even make you sleep? You don't sleep if you're like getting stimulation.
Yeah, it doesn't like knock you out.
Like stimulation is in noise or light or you have to be
like,
in a bedroom.
Taking like a herb. It's not. Yeah. It's better, but it's like taking a herbal supplement. It's like saying don't give her lavender tea because she might fall asleep and then you can rape her.
Yeah. So unconscious. Yeah, I feel like come on, everyone is on board with that. If she's fucking unconscious, don't have sex with her. It's like yeah, we all know that. That is literally yes. I think everyone would agree that's rape, of course. And so I guess we can talk about the sleep one a little more and say like yeah, if it's someone you haven't slept with, and she's asleep, don't fucking have sex with her. We're talking very specifically about a couple or like girlfriend, boyfriend, or
someone you've had sex with.
You've had sex with a few times and then, you talk about it. You're like, hey, would you ever want to have sex while you're asleep?
Don't start playing up someone that you're into that's not into you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I love how we even have to define this, but that's how like full retard this fucking list is. So number 8, carry a whistle. And so you're like, okay, here we go. We got some agency again. Who do you think they mean carry the whistle?
Why is a man carrying
why is
a
a
whistle?
why is a rapist? This very specifically says if you are worried you might assault someone by accident.
What do you mean by accident?
That's what I mean. So there's like a bunch of rapists going. So I don't know if this is like a clumsy rape. Like, how do you even assault someone by? They do say assault, not rape. So maybe like grabbing her tits accidentally.
What do you mean accidentally?
Well, I don't know. They're the ones saying it. It's not. The burden of proof is not on me. I don't have to explain what they mean. They need to explain what it by accident means. So if you're worried, you can hand it to the person you're with so they can call for help. So if you're with a girl and you're like, hey, look, I'm so sorry. I'm actually like a rapist. So I was wondering if you could hold this whistle and blow it if I start raping you. Do you think she's going to be like, cheers, I appreciate that? Or do you think she's going to run? Ladies, if you're listening to this and this scenario happens, if any of these scenarios happen, by the way, run. If a guy crawls in through your fucking door or window, shoot him. Don't like hope that he's remembered this list and will stop himself from raping you.
I don't think anyone's doing that. No one's trusting.
We should give a list of actual.
Snuck into that. I will also say the one about like the friend. It's like what good friend?
What good friend is like, you're a rapist, yeah, buddy, I'll keep you accountable.
If your friend says to you, hey, I'm not sure if I can stop myself from raping someone, can you just like, make sure that I don't? That friend's, if they're a decent person, be like, what the fuck's up with that? Like,
so I guess, what do you do if this ridiculous scenario ever happens to you and you're that friend, which is never going to happen in the known universe ever, because guess what? People who do bad things don't fucking think that they're bad, or they don't admit to other people that they are bad.
Yeah,
they're not going to say, hey, I know that I have this like rape in me, like, can you stop me? No, they're just going to hide it and do it, like American fucking Psycho or something. They're going to make sure that no one, or that he fucking tells people at the end. He goes, anyway. So, yeah, dopey as fuck. Number 9, don't forget, honesty is the best policy. If you have every intention of having sex later on with the woman you're dating, regardless of how she feels about it, so why not just say if you want to rape a woman? Why'd you write this long paragraph? So, if you plan on raping a woman, tell her directly that there is every chance you will rape her. If you don't communicate your intentions, she may take that as a sign that you don't plan to rape her and inadvertently feel safe. And do you know what else makes women inadvertently feel safe? When you give a list of ways that we're going to stop rape and you don't put anything that women can do on there. That's how you make them feel inadvertently safe. When you tell them, don't worry, men are going to protect you from each other. Men are all out there raping, but don't worry, like the rapists themselves are going to do everything they can to not rape you. That's going to make her feel great.
Wait, can I read that last one? Because is that what it's actually saying? Or is it saying, I feel like it's talking more like a date scenario.
They're saying if you're on a date and you think you're going to rape her, tell her that you're going to rape her, otherwise she might feel safe.
Regardless how she feels. Yeah, no, okay, that is as dumb as...
Yeah, and again, it reads like a parody, doesn't it? And you guys might be listening to all this. We've covered all of them. Number 10 was don't rape. We've covered all of them. You guys might be listening, and you girls might be listening to this and going like, okay, this is a parody. Because you're going to listen to all this, and you're going to say, your mind is going to, like, the first stage of grieving is denial, right?
Grief? Is this grief?
I don't know. I'm grieving having read this. It is good content. I'm sure people probably like me ranting. So, your mind is going to be looking for an answer. Guys, people like answers.
True.
When something confuses us, the first thing we try and do is like label it or pigeonhole it or explain it or use some past experience we have to define it. We don't like the mysterious because there's a fear of the unknown. It's terrifying. If you can't label something, it's terrifying. Just like COVID at the start of last year was terrifying. I was nervous. I did a bunch of research in the first like 2 weeks. And once I'd done that research, I was like, okay, I don't think this is anything to fear about, to be fearful of. And then everybody caught up to me 2.5 years later. So we're still not quite there yet, but give it another 1.5 years and everyone will catch up to me and say, do you know what? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it'll take 2.5 years before everyone goes like, I don't think this COVID thing was that scary. Fuck, I think we overacted. So people are a little slower, but that's fine. But the point is like, I was even scared until I did some research and was like, oh no, this isn't that bad. This is like 2 or 3 times worse than the flu and I can deal with that. I'm healthy, I'll be fine. I don't have any grandparents that I talk to, that's fine. I'll be okay. And that's the way that everybody should have handled it. You assess your own life. If you don't think you'll be okay, if you're in that high risk group, then you do everything you fucking can to mitigate that. Yeah, you can ask for help. I would have helped people. I would have helped a ton of people. Sure. For sure. I did help a couple of people. I told them which supplements to get and stuff like that. Where was I going with this? So you'll be trying to, you have a fear of the unknown. You're trying to label things. You're trying to put things into neat little boxes. That's kind of how the human mind works.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll be listening to this list that we've just gone through, and your mind will want to say, Andy's being trolled. He's an idiot. This is just like a parody. Andy took this too seriously. What a dickhead. Like, this is clearly not serious. Or they themselves are trying to parody something else. Like, or they're trying to point out that rape is ridiculous. Again, law of unintended consequences. If that is what they're trying to do, if they are trying to point out that rape is ridiculous and you're ridiculous if you're raping, you are now minimizing what rape actually is. You are parodying the thing that you say you care about. You are the Rape Crisis Center of Scotland. Your entire mission is to stop rape. And so if this is a parody, you fucking failed your mission. If this is serious, you triply failed your mission. And you failed the IQ test. You went to Mensa and you sat down and you had your IQ test and it came back negative. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go back to the fucking potato factory and eat your fucking glue. We should end there, but we're not going to. So, that would have been a perfect ending, actually. Do you have anything else to say with this shit fuck list?
Not really. I think you said most of it.
Well, okay, now here's where I was going. I think, because I want to put this into a box. My mind can't read this list without an answer. So I'm going to have to invent one. It's just like you watch an ambiguous movie that doesn't have an ending, and then you argue with your 5 friends about what the ending actually was. Like, do you know, at the end of like Inception, do you think that he's actually still in the dream world, or like, you know, like that kind of shit?
Sure.
And so here's my pigeonhole for this list. I think these people fucking hate men. And the way that they are trying to, or that I can at least be charitable and say they hate rapists. I think they hate men, but we can just say they hate rapists.
Sure.
And I think this list was their way of like getting that passive aggressive hate and rage out of themselves. They make this stupid, like, if men were just like not rape, like, I think they've gotten themselves hysterical. And they're like, we need to end rape. Rape is so bad. Oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. Like, why do men rape? Why do some men do bad things? Why do bad things happen? If they just stopped the bad things, everything would be better. It's like a university student wrote this. A socialist university student wrote this list. A 20-year-old, 19-year-old, 18-year-old sat down and wrote this list and just had this utopia in mind of like, if everyone could just hold hands and be nice, everything would be better and we'd all be happy. If men just didn't rape, we'd all be happy. I think it is like a sub 70 IQ person has written this, getting out their passive aggressive hate for men and for rapists, but especially just for men. And that's why you see this list manifest into reality, when I wish the people who wrote it hadn't been manifest into whatever. I don't think they should fucking die, but I'm making a joke. Anything you want to add? Let's do a beautiful segue. I mentioned the Winners Club at the start of the episode, my mentorship group. I would say if you feel like raping someone, come join the Winners Club. You'll have daily access to me. I will keep you accountable. I'll make sure you don't rape. The other guys in the group are pretty empathetic. I'd say...
Do you want someone in the group that thinks that rape?
Yeah, because I can help them. I'd work with a rapist. Are you serious? If someone came to me, I told you, you heard me go on that rant before. If someone came to me and said like, yo, I'm like a pedophile, or like I have urges.
Setting issue.
Okay, then pay me for coaching. Hit me up for coaching. Pay me for coaching. Give me money, bitches. No, I of course I would work with someone, for sure. Like if someone came to me and said like, I have pedophilic urges, I would say like, you need some real help. I will definitely help you, of course. I'll fucking help you, but you have to also promise me that you'll go and speak to like someone who's dealt with this and counseled this. I can help you find that person. We'll do a bunch of research together. I can figure out how you talk to them. I can figure out how you open up. We can cover like ways. I can help you with the other shit, like how you actually build a life and keep yourself busy, because that's what you'll have to basically do. Keep yourself incredibly fucking busy. Same as if you have urges to like rape or kill someone, like any sort of deviant behavior, do drugs. It's almost like an addiction. I would treat it like an addiction. And I've read literature that deals with pedophilia and rape urges as if it is an addiction, as if it's always this part of you that could come out, but your mission is to build an awesome life that distracts you and keeps you busy so that you're not sitting around going like, oh, I want to rape someone, or oh, I want to fuck a child or something. Like, you're busy as hell. That was incredibly crass of me, but keeping busy as hell, and then obviously dealing with the fucking urges. I'm not telling you to just self-medicate and pretend that it's not there. So yeah, of course I would work with someone. Yeah, I'd work with anyone. I'd work with literally anyone who wants to be better and who wants to make the world a better place. Now, if someone came to me, and we've had a couple of people like this, remember, that will email me and say, I told you about one guy who emailed and said like, hey, I want to cheat on my girlfriend. Can you like help me make that happen?
Like, how do I get
and it's like, no, I can't. Like, no. Now, if you did cheat on your girlfriend and you want help dealing with that, I've worked with 3 clients who have cheated on their girl. I cheated on my fucking girlfriend. I cheated on the first 2 girls I was girlfriend and boyfriend with. I've worked with like 3 guys that cheat on their girlfriends in the past, want help overcoming that. Of course, like I'll fucking work with those people, but why wouldn't I work with them?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to work with someone who wants to commit active harm going forward. Yeah. Sure. So, yeah, that'll do. Don't rape, guys. Please don't rape. Women, I guess we could have talked, maybe we'll do it later, like what our top 10 tips to end rape would be.
Yeah, like legit.
Counseling services for men who have raped before. When I say counseling, I mean like really hardcore. I don't mean like, oh, you poor boy, but there will be an element of that for sure. You do need some empathy, like, because I'm sure a lot of guys that have raped do have guilt, so you'd need to deal with that. It's like a very gray topic. It's a very nuanced topic. There'll be guys that rape that don't think there's anything wrong with it. Maybe for those people, you need to lock them up. I don't know the answer. That's probably the answer.
Yeah. And
in terms of like for women, there's a million things you can do. Like, don't go walking around alone at 3 a.m. without a gun or pepper spray or Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Even then, like, self-defense is not like...
Trying to avoid that.
A man's still stronger than you.
Get an Uber.
Understand the ways of the world. Understand that there are bad men out there that will rape you. There are bad men out there that will stab me. There are bad men out there that will manipulate me. There are bad women out there that will stab you and rape you and all of that, of course. So we should say there are bad people. I'm sure any manosphere or men's rights people listening to this right now would say like, why are you talking about men? This is like a people issue. And yeah, I agree. Like, people do bad things.
Yeah.
Men are more likely to commit rape, sure, fine.
Sure.
Women are more likely to emotionally manipulate and be bipolar and stuff like that. So each gender does their fair share of bad things. People in general do their fair share of bad things. Your mission in life as a human being, and especially I would say as a woman when we're talking about rape, is to take as much agency as you possibly can. Take personal responsibility. As Jocko Willink says, take extreme ownership. Do everything you can to minimize the risk, and then go about living your life with the amount of risk that you're comfortable accepting. And if you're comfortable walking home at 3 a.m. in the morning, then do that, sure, but you have to understand there may be consequences. If you don't want to do that, then don't. We will leave it there. Don't rape. Women don't get raped. Top 10 ways to end rape. Women don't get raped. There you go. That's as goofy as saying to a rapist, don't rape. So men, don't rape. Women, don't get raped. I've just ended rape.
Good job.
Next week, I will end murder.